Hello everyone, this is Shokora Zouheikyoku aka chocomint, and welcome back to our Let's Play of Undermaintenance. In the last playthrough, we have just set up another date with Theo, and hopefully this time we'll more pushing for a better relationship, and maybe, just maybe, they'll stick together for life. I mean, more seriously, I guess. Like, we reached the final frontier in a sense, go on a higher stage of the relationship. Let's go. Now, chapter 4. Next Tuesday comes quicker than I realized. Like a giddy schoolgirl, I have a hard time staying in bed. Looking forward to my date with Theo. I make sure my hair is washed and cleaned, my makeup is perfect, and my outfit is cute. Hey there! Hi! Looking forward to the night. Then here, this is harsh wiring. Oh my goodness, that is way too precious. You get used to it. I can teach you tonight, winky face. My phone starts ringing right about our arranged meeting time.
Hey.
Shokora, I'm at your apartment building and the door is locked. Hey, yeah, I'll be down in a second and let you in. I rushed down the stairs and opened the apartment complex door painting, only to find Theo crouched down and playing with a cat. Now roll over. I think that's something you say to a dog. Just as I say it, the cat drops to the pavement and rolls over. Is it in protest to me or to answer Theo's request? Or to a cat too, I guess.
Hey.
I give him a flirting look. Hey, want to come in or stay outside playing with a kitty? Okay, coming. Hi, kitty. I'm on floor 7.
Do I put this down in my serial killer notebook?
You're never letting that go, are you?
Not until you give me a funnier joke.
We arrive on my floor and I usher Theo in my studio apartment. I really like this place. It looks very much like you. Hey, what is that supposed to mean? Theo bows my head and kisses my forehead. I mean that in a good way. It's cozy. Oh, speaking of cozy. I grab a hoodie from my bed and give it back to him. Sorry, I forgot about this last Tuesday. No worries. I'll set this down for now. Oh, do you want anything to drink? Something non-alcoholic. I'm driving. Though now I wish I hadn't. The parking situation in your neighborhood is atrocious. You know, you could stay here for the night. Yeah, not though. I guess it's not time. Moving on? Moving on. If you got anything sweet, that would be amazing. I stare at him playfully. I'm sweet. Shokora. I know. One ice cold lemonade coming up. As I grab the drinks for both of us, I think about Theo's previous project that he mentioned last week. How is that old car project going? It's going good. We're getting some new parts shipped in soon, so we should be getting a move on the progress. I'm glad to hear that. Have your siblings come to visit recently? My kid's sister came by over the weekend and we got some orders in on the foreign site. It was a pure pain though. I bring out drinks and set them on the coffee table. Well, what about you? You told me you show me what you do for fun. I point towards a shelf of games. Theo approaches it and starts randomly pulling out boxes.
Wow, these are some seriously pretty guys. Are these the husbandos you were talking about?
Yes, I am glad you noticed. I flashed at him, mimicking my speech weeks ago, and snatched the box out of his hands. Hey, don't judge. I'm not judging, just curious. It's not about pretty guys. Well, it partially is, but it's also about good stories and emotions, and sometimes some gambling to get a pretty picture. Think of it as reading interactive romance books with pretty pictures. Do you remember reading books as a kid and thinking, hey, it would be really cool to influence what happens? Yeah, I was always bummed out when things didn't go as I wanted them to. Well, this allows me to choose exactly how the story will go and explore all the possible endings. Theo nods understandingly. So, which one is the one you play on your phone? Oh, well, that's... I go up to him and load Heavenly Love on my phone. Heavenly Love. I point out the love interest and my favorite husbando. I realize he kind of resembles Theo.
Hey,
He kind of looks like me. I think I have a type. Yeah, so what kind of character is he? He's the older brother type. That sounds really familiar, you know?
Huh?
Wait, so he's the main character's older brother? Isn't that a bit strange? Theo's question catches me off guard, so I lower my phone while I consider it. Wait, no, not blood related, but more like he teases and treats the main character like a sister. But he really has feelings for her. Oh, so do you see me as an older brother type? I mean, not really. We're not really related, and I don't know, you are mature in a sense, but I don't get that older brother vibe of you that much. Then if we really went, yes, because he did have siblings, like younger siblings. Yeah, not really. Not really. You're caring to those around you, but I never felt like you treated me that way. It's hard to bend you as a job after all. That's good. I don't know how I would feel if I could be described with two-dimensional terms. So, what makes this one different than the ones on your shelf? It runs on a server and is something a lot of people play together, instead of everyone playing their own game. So when there are updates, they need to stop everyone's games to roll them out.
Huh?
I'm not sure I completely follow. Well, think of it like this. For a car to work properly, you have to change the oil every now and then. So for this game, the updates are like changing the oil. But it happens to everyone at the same time because everyone is driving the same car. Theo nods in agreement. I think my clunky car metaphor worked.
Oh, like with fancy new cars. Everything's electronic, and they require regular software updates. And if you don't do that, there can come a time when you can't drive them. Except in this case, you're updating husbandos.
Yes, make it faster. Good pronunciation, make it faster. Yep, that's exactly it. He continues inspecting my shelves. His face seems to light up when he finds one game in particular. Hey, is this that lumber racing game? I remember playing it on 64 with my brother. You used to play games? Way back in the day. We used to have one of those consoles set up by our living room TV, and my brothers and I fought about who got to play next and what. That was before I decided I was too cool to hang out with my siblings and started playing drums instead.
You mentioned playing drums before. Do you still play?
Well, I do, I think. I still have a set in my basement, but back in the day I was so into it, I missed classes.
Why did you stop?
I dropped out of the band once I started working in my dad's company. I still pick up drumsticks from time to time, but it's kind of not the same. Without the promise of the big stage and frame.
Give him a taste of his own medicine. Well, that sucks, but understandable.
Besides, the band got in the way of spending time with my family. That's why I moved to the projects.
Right, because that's something valuable to you.
Exactly.
Well, if you had the opportunity to make money playing the drums, would you?
I'll think about it. If I could play in local band, yeah. Then I could stay here with my family. But that's only if we could get gigs.
That sounds awesome and practical. After our conversation, I whip the game tower's foot in my hands and then offer him a smile. Let's see whether it's as good 20 years later. I bob in the cartridge and pick up a controller. I rotate it so that Theo gets an easier view on the buttons I'm pointing at. You press these buttons to move, this to speed up, and this to slow down, and this one to throw things in my way. That should be it. I press the controller in his hands. We sit down on the floor and I start off the game. It's disastrous. Theo seems to be going the wrong way consistently and he can't speed up or throw things properly. I finished several rounds ahead of him. Seriously, this is no fun. Theo's face has fallen and his fingers are going white while gripping the controller. The controller he's holding is exactly the way I had when I showed him the controls. Is he holding the controller upside down? Want to play a board game instead?
You're holding the controller wrong.
You're holding the controller wrong. I point at mine and rotated to his position and then back to the right one again.
Sorry. The lack of a while got me confused.
No, it's my fault. I show you this way. He rotates the controller.
Can we go another round?
Our next game, I win by a very close margin. The one after that, I get completely and utterly defeated. I can't believe you told me you don't play video games. Are you sure you haven't played this before?
I said I played something like that with my brother back in the day. Lots of missed homework and housework. Guess it's like fixing a bike. You never forget how.
Isn't it supposed to be riding a bike?
Nah, it's fixing in my family. Dad hasn't been able to ride a bike ever since he first got sick, but he can still play commands on how to oil the chain or straighten the spokes. Anyhow, want a rematch?
After several games back and forth, we sit back exhausted.
So what's next on the agenda for the evening?
I'm feeling mentally spent, so I was thinking. I raised my eyebrows playfully. Make that time? When Theo shows his shoulders and nods, I climb on top of his lap, straddling him with my legs.
Oh wow, girl, of course. Oh.
Theo gently pushes my hair back and cuts my cheek, seemingly considering something. Then he crushes his lips against mine. That gentleness suddenly gone. Our tongues go from wrestling to caressing him back as I snake my hands around his head and he plants his firmly on my hips. His lips travel from my face to my neck, to my collarbone, seemingly looking for a spot that makes me gasp the most. I lean into his body and hold on to his shoulders as Theo's hand drags us up slowly, almost lazily down my arms and across my back. His other hand is slowly tracing a line on the outside of my thigh, sending shivers down my spine. So, we're doing this? I lean to his ear and whisper seductively. Want to take yourself from the floor to the bed? To my disappointment, Theo pulls back and shakes his head.
I guess we're not doing this. I don't think so.
Again, seriously. I climb off of him and put my hands on my hips. Are you in some sort of a cult? What the hell is wrong with you? Is it me?
What? Wait, no. I mean, yes and no.
Yes?
I like you. I like the way you carry yourself, the way you talk to people, how you ask me these questions no ass has ever asked before as if they come naturally to you. But after how we started out, I seriously have no idea what you want to get out of all of this. And before we go any further, I'd love to know if you feel the same way I do.
If I didn't like you, I wouldn't be making out with you right now.
That's not what I meant. Well, not entirely. What I mean is, do you see this going somewhere beyond wanting to make out with me?
It's all fresh. How would I know?
Exactly. Ever thought about it and tell me whether you want something once you're ready. I'll do the same. If you do, great. We'll give it a whirl and see where it goes. I'll love that. But if not, also great. At least we can stop wasting each other's time.
Theo lies down on my floor and stares into the ceiling before starting to talk silently.
I've got attachment issues.
I lay down next to him and try to find the exact spot he's staring at. There are quite a few to choose from. Damn it, cheap landlord.
Growing up, there's always been a fairy tale in front of my eyes. My parents met at school, married at 19, 35 years, 5 kids, and one effed up illness later, he still calls her beautiful and she still lovingly calls him loony for saying that. My siblings are continuing the tradition. Do you know I'm the oldest of 5 and half of them are already happily married?
And all of that has clicked some old school switch in my brain. If I do the deed, as they say, I start expecting things. I start imagining things. And if that person is gone the next morning, it tears me apart. So a couple of years ago, I decided that it's not worth it. I'd only sleep with people with whom I'd like to try to imagine some sort of future together. I don't even know what the future would entail.
I love playing the role of the cool uncle. And it's not like I can wear a wedding ring on my words anyhow. But having someone to come home to would be enough.
That's all nice and dandy, but why didn't you say so?
Huh?
I'm sorry.
You got batteries, and that's great. I respect that. But how are people supposed to know them if you don't tell them? Theo looks at me with surprised eyes as I continue. This isn't a fairy tale. The person you're with won't magically know all of your inner thoughts. You got to tell them. Sure, people who have been together for years have them unspoken forms of communication, but that thing comes with time and with a lot of talking. I kept getting mixed signals here. One moment you kiss me, the next, you're making me feel like I just did something unspeakable, and I've got no idea about why. Theo runs a shaky hand through his hair.
Yeah, she got a point, you know. She got a point. I mean, we have been patient until the day you say this, so at least he got it out of their trouble, isn't it? Now they just need to think about that more, consider that more. I guess It's quite mixed signals, especially if the one who created the raw file that she clicked on before as his friend, he didn't say specific things about that. Yeah, a lot of mixed signals around the place.
Fuck. I've been a real dick to you, haven't I?
Yes, big time. You have, but so have I. You have, and now that you told me, I realized that I've been the same to you. I'm sorry. But now, the question is, where do we go from here? We lay next to one another in silence. I never thought the floor could be so comfortable. Maybe I should look into getting a futon instead of the creaky bed I have.
Maybe get to know each other a little more?
I like that. After a while, I reach my hand over and entwine my fingers with his. Neither of us says anything, but I get a feeling like we're just gotten over a huge hurdle.
Yes.
I want to tell him how much I love to be there for him, to figure out a way to make this thing work. And if that means taking it slow, then I'm okay with that. I just want to know more about him. After a yawn escapes from Theo's lips, he lets go of my hand and gets up.
I've got work in the morning. I know we're both busy, but maybe we can keep in closer touch on the phone. Do more of that talking you were speaking about earlier.
Yes. It's only after he leaves that I find his hoodie still neatly folded on my couch. A text comes through my phone.
Keep the hoodie. It looks better on you anyway.
Ah,
Cute.
after Theo leaves, I immediately open my phone to message Mina. I might be in love.
Shokora! You know I support you 100%. But watch out. You can't get outdoor art because a handsome man sweeps you off your feet.
You're the last person I want to hear that from.
Okay, fair. For real, keep me updated. If he got you like this, then he must be special.
You know I will keep you updated. Now, Chapter 5. Theo and I keep messaging back and forth, talking about things we like and want from life. I walked through all the modern social media apps, but none of those seem to stick. In the end, we stick to texting and long phone calls. After a couple of weeks of this back and forth, one day I get a different kind of message from Theo.
I'm having a party on Friday evening. You should come.
What should I wear?
Clothes, preferably.
Obviously, no, I was going to show up your party naked. Although, you know what I mean, dress code.
There's none. Your usual dress is fine. Wear casual clothes.
Once I arrive at Theo's place, there seems to be a party going on in full swing. His project car sits polished in the driveway, seemingly finished. I enter the backyard where there are a lot of people wandering around. As I look for Theo, I have to do a couple of double takes. There are several younger guys who look like him, just in different clothes and haircuts. That girl looks like how I would imagine Theo would look as a woman. And those kids running around seem to be related to him in some way as well. No, not that closely related. I see Theo by the boombox with a man in his 50s. As I start approaching them, I can hear Theo's dad don't while the older man points towards the music system with a severely shaken hand. This must be Ted. Looks like he's got not only his friends, but his family over as well. Dad spends all the look-aligns and the young kids. I know he has at least one brother who has started a family. Theo nods and turns down the music while Ted clears his throat. That seems to get everyone's attention.
Listen up. Theo didn't want to tell y'all why he made this party, so I will. Those my orders and used to be the biggest pain in my ass. But as he graduated high school, I decided to get him a present. Even though the little punk graduated a year late.
Laughs and cheers come from the party as Theo raises his hands in defense, laughing.
I had more fun and hot things to do than study, okay?
A couple of whistles sound from a party of guys while Ted continues.
I bought a brakes resembling the Spifty car he got there, thinking we could work on that together, while he figures out what he wants to do with his life and all. But he goes, "No duh, I've already gotten a Harley and I'm hitting the road with my band in a week. We've got a tour deal as a warm-up act and we're getting famous."
Theo smiles sadly, while a man roughly his age splits from the party and wraps Theo in a short hug. That man looks a lot like Theo. I bet that's one of his brothers. That's really cute.
3 days later, I black out at the shop. The doctors at the hospital find something in my head. Tell me to get my affairs in order just in case, you know.
Ted's legs are visibly wobbling and he leans back against the table to steady himself.
Next thing I know, the kid is in my hospital's room, still high as the moon from whatever party he was at, telling me he's taken over everything. Over the next month, while they're blasting me with radiation and cutting out my brain, he sells a spike and Venus to fund his auto-mechanic suits. For some strains, study nurse takes the text early to get everything right on the first try. I get home to a bigger bread than a junker I had brought him. Had to relearn everything while he does everything around the shop. Once I'm good enough to sit, he gets me in the shop and puts me on the phone just to keep me busy. Let me order him around from the salons and watch him work. Probably save my sanity. Puts his ass up in the shop, and when his brothers come of age, he gets them a junker and fixes it up with them.
A female voice calls out. He gave me one as well.
And his baby sister too. And once they're all done, only then he gets back to the original junker and starts fixing it. Took a couple of years, but now it's also done. To celebrate this little accomplishment, I've done something I should have done ages ago. It's done, kid. I've done the paperwork. You're gonna have to change all of your decals from text to Charles.
Dad.
A couple of people start cheering and Theo starts hushing them frantically.
I've got neighbors.
They hug and then Ted shoos Theo away to go mingle with his friends. A party of guys seem to envelop him. After a while, he noticed me and waves me over.
Hey, Shokora.
I stroll over to Theo and he gestures toward the roof.
This is everyone.
Theo points at me.
Everyone, I'd like you to meet someone. She's my...
Theo pauses and looks at me expectantly. I'm Theo's friend. I guess I'm Theo's girlfriend. At that moment, Theo picks me up and plants a huge kiss on my lips.
Yes, I made it happen.
We all turn to him. Are you the catfisher? The stranger just nods eagerly and smiles at us both. Then he turns to Theo and extends his hand. Theo groans, pulls out a wallet from his jeans pocket, takes out a bill and hands it to his friend. What's all that about?
I bet him 20 that he'll end up with you.
I turn towards Theo and bowed. You bet against me. Theo raised his hands in defense.
I didn't know you then. I might have been a bit annoyed at the whole situation.
But he knows better now, right? Right?
Yes, much better.
Nice. So what now? You joining the clan, Shokora?
I want to go for a ride first.
Theo jokes on his drink. His friend starts slapping on his back while laughing. Oh dear. I mean in your car, not in dark or black or naughty. What are you thinking about?
Sure thing. Once I'm sober.
Once the laughter dies down and I'm sipping on my beverage, Theo turns away to fiddle with his phone. A second later, my phone dings.
How about we wait for the party to be over and go for a different kind of ride? Very obvious stuff. Very obvious. Oh my god. We have a eggplant, a bed, and a winged face. Okay.
It's my turn to choke on my drink.
I'm just laughing at the situation.
I'll start ushering people out this instant. Once the crowd clears out, I follow Theo inside. Instead of the couch we made out on, he brings me to his bedroom. He cups my face in his hands, the red clear in his eyes. In his face, he leans in for a kiss as I wrap my arms around his neck. Slowly, he wraps his hands around my thighs, rubbing me up as I lock legs around his face. He's holding me up, just like that, as we continue making out. He slowly lays me down on the bed and begins caressing my neck, then collarbones with his lips. Soft kisses and then nipples. He keeps going, and this time, there is no stopping.
Fade to black.
Theo knows exactly what he's doing. We spend the next few hours getting to know each other's bodies, connecting intimately, both physically and emotionally.
Yes.
Half a year later. Theo's whining about foreign companies being a real pain to deal with made me reconsider some things. After helping him out on the communication front a couple of times, I set up a side thing on the lines of, you call me and I'll deal with the weird foreigners in your stead. Theo's family was more than happy to give me some contacts in the industry and spread the word. Turns out, dealing with mature professionals is much easier than regular retail clients. What started out as a small forwarding service has quickly grown into official contracts, going to shows to meet more people, and doing market research. My university professors would be so proud. Today I signed the lease for an official office space. I even have my own sign.
Nice, very good girl.
My apartment building's rent prices were raising, and Theo's backhanded, you can just start being brain to me joke as spiraled into me moving in with him. Well, it wasn't like I wasn't over there half of the week anyways. As I'm trying to balance 3 boxes on top of one another, they start slipping and I swear. Who decided boxes should be this stupidly difficult to carry? Give them proper handles or straps. Theo takes 2 of them from the top and helps me carrying them inside. Everything's a mess, but I'll have time to unpack later.
Is that all of them?
Yeah. I walk over to a wall in Theo's living room. No, our living room. It's used to be bare compared to the other wall, but I've started adding pictures to it. My pictures, no pictures that I've taken just for fun. Look at me taking my own advice. I plopped out on the couch and start fiddling with my phone. Heavenly Love was down for maintenance earlier today, so I'm looking to do my dailies. After a while, Theo puts down a cup of latte on the coffee table and then slumps down next to me.
I tried making you one of those fancy lattes that you like. I'm also finished soundproofing the basement.
That sounds suspiciously like something a serial killer would say.
You know it's for the drums. Mind if I head over to the shop to work on the bike?
I pretend to bounce. Are you gonna leave me all alone in this house?
I can stay at home if you can persuade me.
He throws a slight grin in my direction.
Okay.
I wink at him and crawl up into his lap before I plant a big kiss on his lips. Like this?
That is a good persuasion tactic.
I wave my hand, still holding the phone and laughing. The maintenance is over. I've got a mug of my favorite coffee and my 4 husbandos. I'm good. That presses a very familiar kiss to me here.
Then I'll leave you to it. Have fun.
That'll get in. He's a keeper. I'm taking him off the market.
Nice. Off the market, off the market. And this should be the end of Theo's playthrough. And we got a good ending. So, we finished all the boss routes. I'm pretty sure there's more routes and more endings. I mean, there is 3 main routes, but there are more endings. But I'm going to be finishing this here and just giving the general thoughts about the playthrough and the character routes in general. Actually, I heard there's another kind of secret route, so I'll leave that later. But now for Theo's ending, maybe it's just because the playthrough with him is fresh in my mind that I am partially more interested in his routes more than the other. It was a very interesting that it started up. I didn't like the first impression first because there are actually some guys catfishing in a sense. But I find out that his route is pretty sweet. It's mostly about communication and getting to know each other. It's like a slow burn romance to understand each other, to know their personality and everything before reaching that part of seriousness in the relationship to confirm if you're going to be official girlfriend, boyfriend, lovers, or just go away. So it's serious. It's like going on Tinder, but instead of that one night stand, it's just you match with each other very well and you want to go for long way. So kind of like I see a future with you in a sense. So that's really nice. That is what I thought about Theo's routes, and now I will give the general thoughts about everyone's routes in the next playthrough, the last one. Okay, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next playthrough of Under Maintenance. Bye bye!